Hi guys, I hope you're doing well on this sunny Saturday morning at time of recording. Yesterday I caught Supergirl at the IMAX up in London. One of the films this year that I thought, yeah, that's day off worthy. Don't really use my holiday for much else apart from the odd concert or festival. So the rest of it really gets used on films that I want to see day one or films that I want to see particularly up in the IMAX. And being a big fan of 2025 Superman film and how the DCU has delivered so far with Creature Commandos and Peacemaker Season 2, I thought this was definitely one that I want to catch on opening day, particularly as well with director Craig Gillespie at the helm. Big fan of I, Tonya, and I genuinely think Cruella is the best live-action Disney property, not actually a remake, but adaptation or whatever they've done so far. So I was very interested to see his take on Supergirl. Now, I know there has been some discourse around how faithful this is of an adaptation to Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, which originally it was going to be titled. I've got the graphic novel here. I haven't got round to reading it yet. I really will do that soon because everyone that I've spoken to or I've seen about it has said it's absolutely brilliant. And I know there has been some disappointment from some fans where this has sort of taken a lot of the material and tweaked it and changed the sort of visuals and color palettes and removed certain things, which I think, to be honest, is probably why they just changed the title to Supergirl, as to not make the sort of notion that it was a direct adaptation of this. But again, going into this, I didn't have that preconceived knowledge of that material, so I was going in just completely open-minded. I was a big fan of both the two trailers. I thought the song choices for both trailer were really good. Call Me sort of becoming the unofficial Supergirl theme, and What Becomes of the Broken Heart, that epic trailer version of it in the second trailer, I thought fit really well. Now, before we take flight and talk about Kara, Crypto and company, if you enjoy the video, please hit the like button, and if you're feeling extra generous, hit the subscribe button. So let's return to the DC universe for our second feature film and talk about Supergirl.
What's Superman like?
He sees the good in everyone. And I see the truth.
The second feature film in the 2025 launched DC universe. Supergirl sees Kara Zor-El, played by Millie Alcock, join forces with an unlikely companion, played by Eve Ridley, on an interstellar journey of vengeance and justice, when an unexpected adversary, played by Matthias Schoenaerts, strikes too close to home. Unfortunately, this film has become the latest victim to a particularly toxic and loser-filled section of the internet, who were immediately opposed to the idea of a Supergirl movie and barraged the film's lead star with vile insults, abuse, and attacks on her physical appearance, which is bold considering what most of them look like when they aren't hiding behind an anime profile picture. And of course, they began the obligatory boycotting on IMDb. Unfortunately, a lot of this discourse bleeds into the timeline, and when the mixed critical reception and potential box office underperformance came to the forefront, it led to more fuel for the fire for these weirdos. Anyway, sorry, just had to get that off my chest. The film itself may not be perfect, but I thought it was a lot of scrappy, punky and angst-tinged fun that does a swell job of distinguishing Kara from Clark and building the already strong DCU backbone even further. I know there has been some disappointment and discussion surrounding how this adapts elements from the critically acclaimed Woman of Tomorrow run, which I haven't yet but really need to read. Even without this prior knowledge, it is undeniable that the film has been trimmed and tweaked in some respects, and is left with a somewhat jumpy structure that can feel a little jarring, and particularly undercooked when it comes to the impact of Ruthie's motivations. That being said, when it comes to integrating Kara's tragic backstory, her love for Crypto, and why she drowns her sorrows, the film and Alcock both excel. The pacing is hasty, and even though the choppiness is apparent, the space adventure, planet-hopping romp style of story works effectively, and efficiently takes us to the bizarro outer regions of DC's galaxy, featuring plenty of pit stops at hostile to homey planet sites that all feel lived in, and feature glorious amounts of wacky inhabitants for Kara to interact with. A couple of which got genuine laughs from myself and the audience, particularly when she is hit on by this sort of slug creature, and one particular surprise voice cameo got a large cackle. Unfortunately, some of the action does suffer from quick cutting and poor lighting, one thing that they should have utilised from Superman, and there are some patchy CGI backdrops at times. However, when all cylinders are firing, it's great seeing Kara kick ass and get stuck into some gritty fisticuffs. Sure, the finale blowout is a big CGI explosion fest, but the choreography and slow-mo usage is a lot of fun, and the flying looks superb. Also, having Lobo, played by Jason Momoa, pop up to wreak havoc ever so often does add to the chaos. Stylistically, the Mad Max comparisons are apt, and there is certainly a Guardians of the Galaxy DNA in here too. Lastly, big fan of the needle drops, including Wet Leg and Wolf Alice. And whilst I get why it's divisive, that cover of a particularly great song in the final action sequence didn't really bother me. Sure, they could have used the original version, but at the same time, I think this particular version fits the vibe of the film, in all honesty. Millie Alcock perfectly encapsulates the depressed, snarky loner with a heart of gold deep down. She's instantly likeable and raucous fun, and there's one particular scene with Corin Sweat that makes me even more excited to see the duo again in Man of Tomorrow. Corin Sweat is more of an extended cameo here really, but he once again effortlessly charms and proves how great he is as Supes. Whilst he really is only here for fan service and essentially could be removed from the film entirely with no consequence, Jason Momoa is clearly having the time of his life as the cackling, money-hungry bounty hunter Lobo. Eve Ridley's no-nonsense and grief-stricken sincere Ruthie is a good counter to Kara's snark and cynicism. And lastly, whilst he is fittingly evil for the sake of being evil, and Showing Hearts is definitely hamming him up, Krem, unfortunately, is a pretty generic villain presence here. Supergirl is a solid second film for the DC universe, and whilst it does suffer from a messy structure and some dodgy CGI and action lighting, it absolutely soars when it comes to Alcock's performance, Momoa's enthusiasm, the exploration of the universe's wacky and weird outskirts, and features entertaining action beats. Looking forward to seeing her again next year. Thanks for watching the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of Supergirl. What's your favourite DC movie, and are you looking forward to seeing her again in Man of Tomorrow? As always, thanks for watching the video. Please hit the like button if you enjoyed it, and hit the subscribe button if you are feeling extra generous. And I will see you again soon on the next one. Cheers.